If tensions with Iran continue rising, retirees may soon feel the impact in places they may not expect, not just on the news, not just in financial headlines, but at the gas pump, at the grocery store, on utility bills, in travel costs, and possibly inside retirement accounts. Because when conflict threatens the flow of oil, the effects can move through the economy fast. Oil prices rise, fuel prices rise, shipping costs rise, food costs rise, inflation pressure increases, markets react, and retirees can end up paying for a global crisis through everyday expenses. That is why this matters. This is not a military breakdown. This is not a political argument. This is about one question: how could a conflict involving Iran make retirement more expensive? And the answer starts with oil. A lot of retirees hear headlines about Iran and think, what does that have to do with my retirement? The connection is stronger than most people realize. The Middle East is one of the most important energy regions in the world. Oil moves through that region every day. Ships carry fuel, markets track risk, investors watch supply routes, governments monitor disruptions, and when conflict rises in that region, oil traders usually react quickly. They do not always wait for actual supply shortages. Sometimes the fear of disruption is enough to push prices higher. That is important for retirees because oil is not just something used in cars. Oil affects transportation, shipping, manufacturing, airlines, delivery services, farm operations, heating costs, and many everyday products. So when oil becomes more expensive, it can create a chain reaction. A shipping company pays more for fuel. A grocery distributor pays more for transportation. A store pays more to move products. Eventually, consumers often pay more at checkout. That means a conflict thousands of miles away can eventually show up as a higher grocery bill, a higher gas bill, or a higher travel cost. And retirees may feel that more directly because many are no longer receiving pay raises, overtime, or employment income. They are trying to make existing income stretch. That is why energy shocks matter in retirement. Here is the chain reaction in simple terms. Step 1. Conflict risk rises. Step 2. Oil markets price in uncertainty. Step 3. Fuel costs move higher. Step 4. Businesses pay more to move goods. Step 5. Consumers begin seeing higher prices. Step 6. Retirees feel pressure in the monthly budget. That is the real story. It is not just about one tank of gas. It is about how fuel touches almost everything. Food has to be transported. Medicine has to be shipped. Supplies have to be delivered. Airplanes need fuel. Trucks need diesel. Utility providers face energy costs. Local services often raise prices when their own costs rise. So even if a retiree does not drive very much, higher oil prices can still affect daily life. That is why this topic is bigger than gasoline. A retiree may first notice the pump price, then they notice the grocery receipt, then the utility bill, then the cost of visiting family, then the cost of home repairs, then the cost of basic services, and suddenly the retirement budget feels tighter. This is where planning becomes important, because many retirement plans are built around average expenses, but real life does not always move in averages. A conflict can create a spike. An oil shock can create a spike. Inflation can stay sticky longer than expected. And if several costs rise at the same time, retirees may have to make adjustments faster than they expected. That does not mean every retiree is in danger. But it does mean retirees need to understand how global events can affect household cash flow. Because retirement is not only about how much money is saved, it is also about how much life costs each month. This matters even more for fixed-income retirees, because fixed income can feel safe until expenses stop staying fixed. A retiree may have Social Security, a pension, some savings, maybe investment income. But if monthly income is mostly predictable and expenses start moving higher, the pressure grows. That is the problem. Income may stay flat, but costs may rise. Gas goes up, food goes up, utilities go up, insurance goes up, travel goes up. That gap is what retirees feel. It is the space between what comes in and what goes out. And when that space gets smaller, retirement becomes harder to manage. This is why inflation is so damaging to retirees. It does not always arrive as one dramatic event. It often arrives slowly. A little more at the pump, a little more at the store, a little more on the power bill, a little more for insurance, a little more for medication. Individually, each increase may seem manageable, but together, they can change the entire retirement budget. That is why an Iran-related oil shock could matter. Not because every retiree is watching foreign policy, but because retirees are watching monthly costs, and monthly costs are where global events become personal. This is also why retirees should not ignore current events completely. They do not need to become experts in geopolitics, but they should understand that oil, inflation, and markets are connected. And when one part of that system is disrupted, household budgets can feel it. The second major issue is the stock market. Global conflict can create market volatility because investors do not like uncertainty. When oil prices rise sharply, markets may begin asking difficult questions. Will inflation rise again? Will interest rates stay higher for longer? Will consumers spend less? Will company profits be affected? Will energy costs hurt businesses? Will the economy slow down? Those questions can create volatility, and volatility matters more during retirement because retirees may be withdrawing from portfolios. A working investor may have time and future paychecks. A retiree may be using investments for income. That changes the pressure. If living costs rise at the same time markets become unstable, retirees face a double challenge. Higher expenses on one side, portfolio uncertainty on the other. This is why current events can feel more serious in retirement. They can affect both spending and investments. That does not mean retirees should panic. It means retirees should understand the chain. War risk can affect oil. Oil can affect inflation. Inflation can affect interest rates. Interest rates can affect markets. Markets can affect retirement accounts. And retirement accounts may affect monthly income. That is the chain reaction. The more retirees understand that chain, the less surprised they may feel when markets react to global headlines. Understanding does not remove risk, but it can reduce confusion. And confusion is often what leads people to make rushed decisions. So what should retirees actually watch? Not every headline, not every rumor, not every dramatic news alert. Focus on the practical signals. First, oil prices. If oil rises quickly and stays elevated, fuel costs may follow. Second, gas prices. This is usually the first place households notice pressure. Third, grocery costs. Food prices can reflect transportation, labor, and supply costs. Fourth, utility bills. Energy costs can affect heating, cooling, and electricity depending on the region. Fifth, inflation reports. If inflation stays high, retirees may feel pressure for longer. Sixth, portfolio volatility. Markets may move quickly during global uncertainty. Seventh, monthly spending. This is the most important one. A retiree does not need to predict the entire global economy, but they should know whether their own monthly expenses are rising. That is where the real impact shows up. If groceries are up, track it. If utilities are up, track it. If gas is up, track it. If insurance is up, track it. Because awareness helps retirees adjust earlier, and earlier adjustments are usually easier than waiting until the budget is under serious pressure. This is not about living in fear. It is about staying informed enough to make better decisions. Retirement is not the time to ignore the economy completely, but it is also not the time to react emotionally to every headline. The goal is balance. Stay aware, stay flexible, stay organized. The bigger lesson here is not only about Iran, it is about how connected retirement has become to global events. Retirement used to feel simpler to many people. save money, stop working, live off income, enjoy life. But modern retirement is connected to markets, energy prices, inflation, global supply chains, interest rates, and economic policy. That does not mean retirement is impossible. It means retirees need to think differently. A strong retirement plan should not assume perfect conditions forever. It should allow for difficult years, higher prices, market drops, unexpected bills, changing economic conditions. That is why flexibility matters. Retirees who build flexibility usually have more options. They can adjust spending, delay large purchases, use cash reserves, rebalance carefully, review income sources, avoid panic decisions. That is practical preparation. And practical preparation is what helps retirees handle uncertainty without feeling controlled by it. Because no one can predict exactly what happens next with Iran, oil prices, inflation, or markets. But retirees can prepare for the possibility that costs may rise. They can prepare for volatility. They can prepare for budget pressure. And they can avoid being shocked when global events affect everyday retirement life. That is the real value of paying attention, not fear. Preparedness. Because retirement is no longer only about savings. It is also about understanding how the world around you can change the cost of living. And the more prepared you are, the better decisions you can make. If this video helped you understand how global events could affect retirement costs, subscribe for more retirement planning, inflation, investing, and economic strategy content. I appreciate you watching my video. Thank you.